Hey, folks. It's great to be back again. It's been a little while. It's been a minute, as the kids say. Actually, do they say that anymore? In any case, what we're doing today is we are going to be talking to you and sharing news. Well, as we always do, we're sharing news about JavaScript. We're sharing news about React, especially, and of course, MeteorJS. And we're also going to be talking about what makes a great developer experience. And I believe that Storyteller has some ideas about that. Now, unfortunately, today we're running into a little bit of an issue with Storyteller's camera. So he is going to be mysteriously behind the curtain for a change. But we will be hearing him. We can't run this program without him. And he always has something interesting to say. And what I do want to say is, for those of you who've been watching and following, you'll notice that we go to episode 100 on the channel right now. There's a missing episode, and you would know if you went to Impact what happened there. So this is episode 102 of This Week in MeteorJS, a weekly newscast of the MeteorJS Dispatches podcast. My name is Alim Gafar, streaming to you live from New York City. My co-host is...
Oh, I'll go then. Hi, everybody. I'm Dvorak, aka Storyteller CZ, coming to you live from Prague, Czechia.
And with us today, we have a guest.
Yeah, okay, this is Nacho Codanier, and yes, most of you know me because I'm working these days on the Meteor open source team in Meteor software.
Yeah, and I don't know why my UI is as it is. I think OneStream has changed the layout of things, so it's actually harder for me to be producer on this as I have been in the past. And as you all know, I'm not a great producer. So you've just been staring at the thumbnail here when I really should have been dropping everybody else onto the screen like this, and then like so, and then like so, right? And I can't grab Nacho for whatever reason. I'm having a problem there. So there we go. Got Nacho fully on the screen there. All right, now let's get back to business, and let's get this. Okay, let me drag this back. Why can't I swap it? Hang on. Okay, there we go. All right, swapping it back. All right.
Yeah.
So let's get right on to the first story here. Okay, and with that, we have a. Oh, what happened? Did we lose it?
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out why it was not showing properly. Apologies for that.
Okay.
Let me try this again.
All right. So a little technical difficulty here, but we're getting the slides up. All right, let's.
Okay, now it's working.
Okay,
so we just need to switch
there.
Now. Yep.
All right, and the first thing we want to talk about is, there's another player in the Node runtime replacements. So we've talked before about Dino. We have Dino, which is an anagram of Node. It's created by Ryan Dahl as a replacement to Node.js or the Node.js runtime. And their claim to fame, if I'm correct, remind me, is that they bundle in the most needed or necessary packages into the runtime, so you don't have to make those. You don't have this dependency hell, as we might call it. Then there's Bun, which is another runtime, and now we have Andromeda. Its claim to fame is that it's running on Nova. It's built on Rust. All I'm going to say is go check it out, see if it's something that you might want to use, and then if you have an inclination to do that, try to do a replacement behind the scenes or whatever. Swap it out with on Meteor with Andromeda, and tell us how that works. One of the things behind Andromeda is that it's built with Rust. I got to tell you, this is not a great naming convention. As Chevrolet found out many, many years ago, the name Nova, loosely translated in Spanish, means don't go, right? It doesn't move. So and then again, it's built on Rust. And of course, if something's built on Rust, it probably won't move. So I don't know. Not great marketing to me, but worth a look, I guess, to see what's out there, right? So check it out, report back in, tell us in the comments what your thoughts are with Andromeda and Nova. And with that, if you like what we've been doing in the past and you want us to continue doing it and you like what we're doing today, hit the like button and let us know that that you appreciate the work we're doing. Okay, and with that, I'm going to turn this over to you, Jan, to talk about that thing I do not want to touch or have mentioned from my lips.
So we have some React news. There's been a conference, so a lot of the things gonna have been coming out from that. First, the big news, non-technical, is that there is now a React Foundation, something that many people have been clamoring for a while, especially after thinking that Vercel has pretty much kind of taken ownership of React. So now it's part of React Foundation under the Linux Foundation. And but obviously, all the people who have been involved in it up to this point are kind of like the starting people for the foundation as well. That's how these things go for the most part. So now there can no longer be, I would say, complaint that Vercel owns React and stuff like that. With that, we've also gotten new releases. We've gotten React Compiler version 1, which is the cool utility that applies all the necessary things for React to run faster. All the use memos and other things. So it does it for you. You don't have to do anything. It does it on compile time. So that's finally hit version 1. It was demoed quite a bit back, so that's now out there. And oops, if I can. And of course, we had React 19.2 that got released, and there's a couple of new features. There is use effect event, which is kind of the big new effect that's coming in. There is also partial pre-rendering in the DOM features, and yes, then plug in React Host version 6. In the SSR side, there is WebStream support for Node. And a few other smaller things like the activity, but a lot of these things are things that I won't really use in Meteor unless I implement SSR and stuff like activity element. That's a lot to kind of handle. If I remember correctly, the data kind of transition and stuff like that, which I just use Meteor.call. So a lot of those stuff don't really apply that much to us people on Meteor, but still, get it while it's hot. And we had another update as well in the Node sector. Alim, you want to take this one on?
Sure. Oh, I see. What happened is that you kind of mixed up some of the things in your presentation. I was trying to follow along and I was a little lost for a second there, but
Yeah.
But now I see it. Listen, since we've gone to version 3, MeteorJS has really worked hard to stay on top of being on the latest Node.js versions. We have Nacho with us today, and he'll probably comment in a minute after I finish saying what I'm going to be saying, but I really want to make sure that the Node team is keeping their eye, the MeteorJS team is keeping their eye on what's happening with Node. And a couple of days ago, I saw a note by Richard Lau, about 2 days ago on the Node blog, saying that Node 24, which is codenamed Krypton, is going into long-term support. And also recently, I think you pointed out to me, Storyteller, that Node 25 is out, and they've upgraded the V8 engine to version 14.1, which means nothing to anybody without some context. So here's some context on what that means. Is they've said that it has some major JSON.stringify performance improvements. We talked about this a bit before in episode 97, excuse me, back in August 14th. So if you want to get some more information about what that context is, you can go and watch that episode. And it includes built-in UI int 8 array base 64/hex conversion. This is straight out of the notes, by the way. I don't really know what that is exactly, other than it is an interconversion of two number systems here. I don't know what that means practically for you, but perhaps one of the guys here can point that out in a minute again. And then they say that there is some ongoing WebAssembly and JIT pipeline optimizations that are included in here, but they don't specify exactly what those are. But they say it's ongoing, so whatever you've got, it's going to get better. And I don't know if these are things that the MeteorJS team is looking at to take advantage of, or are necessary for the next steps in the evolution of the product. So I'd love to have Nacho just comment for a minute or two about Node 25, whether or not that's on their radar or not. So Nacho, could you pop in for a second here and
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yes, sure. Everything related with Node, because Node at the end is the base ground of Meteor, because it's built on the top of it. So we are really wanting to upgrade to the latest version possible. Possible is if it is an LTS, because we want to ensure quality as well and stability for our users. So definitely, we always watch about this, and especially Jan is providing us the kickstart for us to include these versions into the core. And each of the new versions on the core introduce this kind of changes that could be really beneficial for the core itself, like the one that you are saying related with the JSON stringify. I think that if that with numbers, they are working with numbers, is going to be a huge change. Definitely Meteor, every runtime Meteor is going to benefit as well. We have some benchmark suites to double check about that. And all kind of changes that are going to come, we are ready to get in. But of course, we will need to take a look further into the breaking points, because usually when they do major versions, you just need to take a few things before. Yeah.
Very, very cool. So we can look forward to seeing some of these new Node 25 features showing up in MeteorJS sometime in 3.4. Is that
no? I can actually jump on it as
go ahead.
mentioned. I'm providing keeping close track of it and providing the initial PRs that the Nacho takes and does all the bundling magic in the background. So 3.4 right now will remain on Node 22, and then 3.5 will have Node 24, which just went into LTS. So you can all see all those PRs in those milestones. And Node 25 is an experimental release, you could say. And so once we will get this, once it hits Node 26 and long-term support, there has been some discussions about changing the release schedule, changing how the releases are done. Let me just double check here. Actually, right now I don't even have here when. I just need to quickly find the. If you go to the nodejs.org, they have a site which I just need to quickly find, which explains how this is being released, and they have all the schedules there. So Node 25 will then be the base for Node 26. That's when most people will jump on that, and that's when we eventually once we eventually get. Okay, here we go. Node.js releases, and Node.js 26 will be coming up in. Will be starting in 2026, and it will be coming into LTS much longer down the line. That will be like 27, 28 when it will be in there, but hopefully by then we'll get a bit faster in Meteor with getting the active or actively maintained branches as well. But that's up to Nacho and the core team to decide how that is. But yeah, the 2025 will be finished in October. Sorry, no, that's the current latest update. So that one will be finished in April 2026. That's where kind of they will stop providing any new stuff, and then it will have a little bit of maintenance, and then it not 26.
I think we're getting way too deep into
yes.
the weeds now.
Apologies.
I think all people want to know is like, what's the lineup against the Node.js versus Meteor? Like, when can we see some of these things showing up in Meteor, and what versions might they be considered? I think you answered that question by saying that some of these Node 25 features are going to be in an experimental build, and so just keep an eye out for that, right?
Indeed.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. And with that, listen, if you haven't had a chance yet, you've showed up here before and you haven't done it, hit the subscribe button. Get notified whenever we have an episode coming out. It was a few weeks since Impact that we've now had a live episode of TWIM. So if you want to be notified about when that happens, hit the subscribe button. There's usually a little bell notification next to it. Hit that too, and you'll be informed when we have scheduled a new episode of TWIM. We do, by the way, mention it in the Discord, the various Discord servers. We drop that typically in the general channel, and we also pop something into Blue Sky. Sometimes I think we also put it into Twitter. We have to actually be a little better about this. We're a little not 100%. Sometimes we put it on LinkedIn, but definitely you're going to find it in Discord, and you may find it from time to time on the forums. I have to get back to putting in the forums. I haven't done that recently. So with that, I think we need to transition to the MeteorJS news.
Yeah, we've kind of gotten there already.
Yeah, I know.
There's a lot of stuff happening on the forums, but I kind of had to for this to choose a few interesting things, and these actually are from X. And first of all, they are about Galaxy. So Galaxy supports PostgreSQL, Redis, and it's expanding into more and more offerings. So that's something that's Galaxy keeps on growing. But at the same time, there has been also news in regards to additional regions, especially after the AWS outage last week, and actually even today I've heard there has been some outage, and there's been a question about that. And Fred mentioned that Galaxy will actually switch away from AWS to another hosting provider to offer more regions, and kind of also in potentially be multi-cloud as well. So that's interesting. But he also mentioned that for those who want to stick to AWS, they can do that. So oftentimes people forget about Galaxy, especially if they are hosting their Meteor application somewhere else. But I think it's definitely worth to keep an eye out on what the team is cooking. Not sure, Nacho, how much you can reveal to us or how much you know, since you're on the open source side.
Not too much, actually.
So I want to ask something, because Fred and I several years ago had a conversation about putting the Galaxy platform into like an AWS blueprint, or making it one of those marketplace applications that you can buy and then deploy. I was kind of curious to see whether or not that ever went forward, because in doing something like that, then it makes it easier to kind of like make it cloud independent. If you build a Terraform description, right, of the Galaxy, then you could probably take it to Google Cloud or Azure. You'll probably have to make some changes, but it, short of doing something like this might make it more portable. But I think multi-cloud is is not a bad strategy, especially considering what we saw recently, right? That's not good.
Yeah.
And also, like, pricing opportunities could be very good for for that, or people that, say, for instance, are running their applications on Oracle Cloud and they want to keep everything in the same cloud service. Being able to run Galaxy Instance in one of those other clouds is, I think, tremendous flexibility. So it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out. I have no idea where it's going to go. I'm just saying that there were some conversations we had a long time ago, and those days are long gone. So, there might be new and exciting ideas that they have in mind as to how they're going to go about this. Interesting to me and worth watching.
Yeah, definitely. You can check all the, about how kind of could say. I would say there's a, if you haven't checked Galaxy in a while, galaxycloud.app
Mhm.
is the new website, you could say, and they have, I think, if, as I say, if you haven't checked it in a while, you will be kind of surprised with how much it has expanded.
Wow.
But let's jump kind of a little bit back. I have, you could say, update about an update. So Harry Adele, one of our Meteor community developers, has published another dev diary about what he is working on, what he is doing, and I can also want to use this opportunity to extend thanks because he is working on or migrating to Meteor 3 a package that I have intentions to use potentially in the future, and which is very important, I would say, potentially to some larger customers who have big customers as well.
Yeah.
So
Is this his article where he talks about killing packages by incorporating them in core?
No, this is just his dev diary, which he writes
Okay.
once in a while. So definitely, check it out. Give Harry some love, and we've kind of already hinted at it, but impact happened, and I am releasing on this channel, or the Meteor community channel, there is a playlist with Meteor Impact 2025, and I'm releasing there the recordings of the sessions. So, and I'm playing with it, trying to kind of make it more interesting. There's a new feature here on YouTube with collaborators, which allows you to share with or kind of like have it that, for example, if it's talk with Nacho, then it will be that it's both published by me and Nacho channels is going to be there. So by the way, Nacho, if anything, I will need your channel address or whatever you use, so I can actually add it if I haven't already as well for your talks. So hopefully we'll get that rolling, and we had our Liter Universe designer jump in and do some intros, outros, and all the things. But yeah, you can check it out. It will be coming out over the next month and a half or so. It's, I think, scheduled. I think the last episode is just before, or last recordings right now scheduled before Christmas. But I think we still have to process a few more. So yes, that's the recording. You can check it out, and
yeah, we have a banner streaming down below that has basically been trying to get your attention to that also. So if you didn't catch that earlier and you want to write it down, we have the information, and it's just streaming through this entire episode.
yes.
So there you go. All right, and is that the news?
Yes, that is the news, and I think right now I'll get it to Nacho because Meteor 3.4 is coming. There has been some developments. So Nacho, what do we have on this front?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, Meteor 3.4 is coming. It's coming slowly, but it's coming, and everyone can already use it and benefit from all the improvements that we are planning from it. I will need to have my my slides there because
Sure.
I want to summarize what we are introducing. So in Meteor 3.4, you have already the possibility to use AirSpec as the replacement for the Meteor bundler. There is, in this talk of Meteor Impact, I gave more insights about how this process works. So I will redirect to that talk when it's available. But since the conception of Meteor 3.4, we have been creating many betas versions, pursuing stability, pursuing extensivity for covering all your use cases, and also including contributions. And in Meteor Beta 12, we have included new possibilities when using AirSpec, and also start including those community contributions that we are getting as part of the open source channel. So first of all, if you just want to use Meteor 3.4, you can. And the way to do it is just to Meteor update or Meteor create and put in the tag of the version, which is 3.4 beta 12. Then what you need to do is to add the new AirSpec atmosphere package. And for sure, you need to read the requirements and the migration topics on the docs. I have put there a URL where you can actually see specifics about how this migration is going on in this version. So go there and check more information about that. About the beta 12, what we have introduced is that I noticed that when you manage an AirSpec application, you can put modification in the AirSpec config.js file. And that can be really advanced for many users. Of course, you need to learn the tool at some point. You will get familiar to the bundler. But if it is not, maybe sometimes you will struggle too much with it. So to overcome that, we have started to introduce config helpers. These configuration helpers are going to allow you to just use, like an example that you can see there, really straightforward, is Meteor set cache to false. So all configuration necessary to put the cache off in AirSpec will be done automatically for you. You don't need to think about that. But this is also applying to other more complex configuration, like when you want to delegate some compilation to Meteor with compile with Meteor, or you have some NPM packages that are modern, using modern syntax, and you want them to be processed by the SWC included in AirSpec and be able to get that in your compilation. So please explore these options because they are there to simplify. Then we have other feedback that we have addressed there. This is the open channel that we have to get all the information from everyone and push many of the changes to ensure stability on those etaps. So we have included improvements on the cache and the way it refreshes. We have included also some issue fixing for service worker and other tweaks. Then we have also introduced contributions for the first time. Until now, all the Meteor 3.4 betas has been focused uniquely on the AirSpec integration. The reason is that we were able to deploy many beta versions without any trouble, because we only focus on one thing and not many of things that could break at the same time. But in beta 12 is an opportunity to start introducing the contributions. One of them is not in the Meteor core, but it's really important to mention, is the React Meteor data package. We have been accepting contributions with Welkin Wong. He's a guy that is really helping us a lot in that area of React, and is providing optimizations for your suspense hooks, the use tracker and use find and the others, because there are some problems. And we have also replaced EasyQual to use another alternative that has much more throughput and could improve the performance that you feel in your Meteor large applications, React large applications. Another thing that we have introduced, and I'm really happy about this because there was a lot of consensus about that. I put a poll on the community forums, and everyone agreed that they wanted to remove the timestamps whenever you run Meteor Run for your development mode. That is disturbing because this disallows you to copy easily, to find solutions for it in the browser or in the AI. The AI is smart enough, but anyway, could be or not. But this is another improvement. So now the logs are raw and pure enough to copy and use it the way you want it. If you want to get the previous approach, you just pass timestamps and it's fine. Then we have introduced some change from Harry Adele. I think the change that you were mentioning before about killing packages from the community systems and put them into the core. So one of the big themes has been this time the collection extensions package that is now available in this beta. Everyone can use it. You can adapt your packages that use extensions to the Mongo collections and start preparing the space for the new version. And yeah, thank you, Harry Adel. This has been a really great contribution. And many others that people has been providing us also as part of the Oktoberfest. We have got some of them that we have introduced in this version, but we will continue introducing the next betas. There has some fixes and also an upgrade to the Node latest version 22. Thanks, Storyteller. And yeah, so what about the next? We are going to release new betas because we still have things to attend. There is one that was waiting, and this was a contribution by my side in the sense that it's not related with AirSpac, but it's related with the Meteor ecosystem itself, which is to remove everything that is not necessary to the production bundle. So for that, in the Meteor packages, now you will have a dev only and npm dev depends. There is a mistake there, dev depends. So you can establish on your Meteor Atmosphere packages which dependencies are dev only, or if a package as a whole is dev only, and that will be wiped out from the final build. So you will be, that decrease a lot. And there are more changes, more helpers, config helpers, as I was mentioning. The experimental Angular support I have achieved to run thanks to LR spec integration, Angular in the latest version. And I am aware that there are people in the community that they are stuck in Meteor 2 because they cannot move in Meteor 3 about the Angular support. So this is going to be fixed. And also the new version of AirSpec, which are introducing fixes even for reports from the Meteor community to there. So this has happened, I think, for the cache, and they introduced the fix in this next version 1.6. Everyone can update right now to AirSpec 1.6 because now AirSpec is part of your application packaging. You can do that. The only thing that the Meteor core is doing is imposing one minimum AirSpec version that we ensure stability is there, and you can use it without struggling. And we will handle more feedback. I would say that maybe 2 more betas could be on front and then RC, but it's going to depend on the feedback that we get. If we get some kind of criticality, we will, of course, prioritize. But nowadays, I don't think this is happening. So yes, I am expecting your feedback. Please use it, break it, report in the forums, don't be shy about it. I will answer. I'm answering everyone. I'm trying to improve this AirSpec integration and doing this work into the modern times for Meteor. So yeah, back to you guys.
Thank you very much for the updates. And
let's see, we're having some problem with the display right now. So let me just, there we go. Okay. All right. Here we go. So, okay, Nacho, are you done with your your presentation?
Yeah,
Nacho?
completely.
Okay.
Yes. Do you hear me?
Okay, right. Hang on.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put these back up here. So, but before we go any further with this, Storyteller, you have anything that you wanna bring up with regard to?
No, I think all clear, and I have to get my admin where I'm running the 3.4 beta up to speed again. I do have, or last time I had some issue with a local package, so hopefully I can provide some better logs and the way to fix that. But there is one thing that I kind of want to discuss with everybody today. If you don't remember, guys, on October 14th, it was the end of life for Windows 10.
Oh boy.
Which
we're going there now. We're going there now.
Yeah, that has been a, how should I say it, interesting time, because still a lot of people on Windows 10 back then, including me. But I have been only using Windows 10 for games. So I think it was on October 12th or something like that I decided to, or I decided before, but that was my go-to day where I completely wiped out
Hang on a second,
my hard drive.
Storyteller. Hang on a second. Let's frame this also in the context that we talked before at the very beginning that things that lead to a great developer experience. Storyteller is talking about something that ruins a developer, right?
Yeah.
And like the basic thing that you need to operating system, and when that fails, the impact it has, but it's going to lead. So there's relevance here other than like a person. So go on, Storyteller.
So I've made a decision to kind of switch for that. And what the issue was, because, and talking about a great experience was, I fulfill all the requirements to upgrade to Windows 11, but just my hard drive was not formatted properly. So, and there was no way around it. So either way, I had to reformatted everything, and I was not keen on having all the AI features, all the spying and everything. So I went for something different. I'll talk more about later. But let's just say I'm quite happy that I am not using Windows 11 as my main development machine, because for the last few weeks we had heard some quite strange stories, like localhost, which I think all of us kind of needs to be working, suddenly not working on Windows 11. And if you then go into recovery mode, tough luck, that's not working either. So that's been going. And even this morning, when I woke up, we've got here another issue with Windows 11, that if you go into Task Manager and click the X to close it, it does not actually closes it. It just stays in the processes. It works. It's just not displayed. So it creates a ghost. So you very quickly can, if you click it multiple times, you just generate a lot of them, and a goodbye memory. Even though Task Manager is not that heavy when it comes to memory, but if you kind of go on it forever, then it's going to show. So Windows 11 has had quite an ire of especially with local hosts of developers.
Yeah.
And there has been.
So Storyteller, is there a better way? Because I mean, I would recommend to you to go and use a Mac, but you are not Mac friendly. So, what are you finding out there that could possibly be, a better solution to this?
Here in Central Europe, Alim, we are not as rich as American, who can just get, Macs, and it doesn't cost them the entire year's salary. So Mac really isn't an option, especially if I have perfectly fine working computer.
Yeah.
which I cannot install Mac OS on it because it's particular
Yeah.
for the hardware.
Yeah, and
So
it's not great for gaming either, is it?
yeah, but for me, go ahead, Nacho.
No. I just wanted to agree with you, Jan. And I have to say, no, but I have to say something else. Yes, I'm working for Meteor. I'm using Windows actually every day, every day. How I'm doing it. But I mean, I'm doing it because they support for developers a Linux environment. So I'm using Windows just for the operating system level of tools, productivity, software, and everything that you can do and set up in your config. And then just I not virtualize because WS is as fast as the Linux alternative. I'm also using Docker for my environment, something a little bit more advanced, but for developers is suitable. So I just want to say that, yeah, Windows sucks in many things, but some of us, we are using it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's a thing that I have issue with Windows subsystem for Linux. Is a way how to get around a lot of these issues, but every time I try to install it, and even with other people, I always run into some stupid issue that is causing a problem. So it's not really just go open up your operating system and just go to coding similar, because I'm kind of looking here for experience like with Meteor. I just install Meteor, do Meteor create, and then go straight to coding my app. With Windows, it's you have to install WSL, all the other stuff, and it's not pretty. Another thing, and of course, as you know me, I've been running Linux for a long time, and that's also why I'm not that much interested in Mac, is because at the same time, I want to kind of have the setup that's as closest to the production environment as possible. So that's having Linux on that's pretty cool. So I've decided to kind of go out of my comfort zone because I've been using Ubuntu for over 10 years. And I've heard this about Omarchi, which is from DHH, David Heinemeier Hansen, who is the creator for Beyond Rails, Hey, Basecamp, all that stuff. So he's kind of a bit of a trailblazer or trendsetter. He's very much opinionated, which doesn't sit well with some people. That somebody can have spicy opinions, but that also kind of made it fun for me, because I think these people then go out and they just will be loud and obnoxious and let full well if they disagree with something, or if they have some specific opinions on that. So
what's Omarchi? Is this like a new distro?
So Omarchi is a new distro. It literally started, I think, at the end of summer. It's built on top of Arch, and that's where my challenge is, because Ubuntu is very beginner friendly, and he also has a installation that makes it that's kind of where he got started, that adds all the necessary stuff for Ubuntu to really get you super fast started with Ubuntu development, all that stuff. So and Omarch is the next step. First of all, it's on Arch, and Arch Linux is known very much for being difficult, that you kind of need to set up everything yourself, and you kind of need to be into the weeds, all that stuff.
It's a very minimal distribution, isn't it?
Yeah, and as I say, everything is really open to you, and it's expected that you will kind of set up everything yourself. And that's why I haven't never really been interested in with Arch, because that's just too much tinkering, and I have work to do, and other more interesting things than tinker with Linux. So, but I said to give it a try. I'm doing completely new setup. I'll just start from beginning and challenge myself, try something new, get out of my comfort zone, and maybe learn something new as well. And kind of what everybody else has been kind of saying as that has been using it, and myself, is that it really is a great experience. We actually had some people who switched from Mac to Omarchi, so take that. And the thing is, it's very, uh, you know, given how DHH is, a lot of the times in Linux, people have, if it's not, this particular license, it cannot be in the distribution. It has to be, open source. It has to follow all these things. There's a lot of purists, and DHS is like, no, I don't care. We'll have all the proprietary stuff in there. The goal is to get you startup and running. And if you want to tinker, if you want to change, that's it's Arch, so you can do that. And the way it's done, it's very very easy to do. So here, interesting thing is it is say a tiling desktop. So when you open up a window, it automatically positions itself and does all that stuff. It's interestingly keyboard focused, which which is especially if you're not like a developer, can be an issue. So right now, for example, what I did, as you can see here, I have opened a menu, and here are interesting things. And this is what I like. There's a lot of great, pre-installed stuff. So you have all the VIMs and all that stuff. But if you don't want to, you can immediately install VS Code. And this is what I like here. What they did here for the installation, of course, you have all your usual packages, and then you have here on different services. And here on the development, you can see all the different languages and what you want to do. So let's just jump to JavaScript, and you can install Node.js, Ban, Dino. What I want to do is add Meteor in here in the future as my contribution back to Omarchi.
Okay.
So you can just like with one click, it will set things up for you. And which was super. So I very quickly saw VS Code, installed, MongoDB, which does all the Docker configuration and everything. So it's like it really reminded me of the experience I had with Meteor when I got started. Just quickly select from the menu what you want to do. It will set up for you. You don't have to, and I don't have to fight with with Docker. Config files and everything. It just does it for me, and that has been super wonderful. And of course, when it comes to the style and everything, that's where a lot of people have been playing with the different themes that are here. Probably won't be that much different, but right now just change my it just change it all like to greenish thing. So
that
lot of
lettering
fun.
reminds me of like Doom,
Well, let me show you.
1995.
That's like another thing. It reminiscens you of like all the old DOS and all that stuff. So here is like my process monitor. So it has a lot of this fun. It has a lot of this funny kind of thing that are reminiscent. It's also a bit challenging because you kind of need to learn all the shortcuts and everything. And another interesting thing.
Wait, hold on. Are you running this stuff right now on Omarchi?
Yes.
Oh,
this is all on Omarchi.
Wow. Okay.
So
you took a big risk. Wait, so that's why we can't see your face.
Maybe that's kind of like that's it's not all peaches and roses or everything. It's still things, but it does again you can change everything as well. But I kind of like to keep the defaults as much as possible to challenge myself to kind of learn. Though I'm of course using WebStorm for coding all that stuff. And here you can see just some of the many shortcuts that I'm trying to learn and use. And the thing is, of course, when you use the keyboard, it saves you time because you don't have to constantly switch to the mouse and everything.
I think I think hard coded in this is the fact that DHH has basically decided that the only person that can use OBS and get their face seen is him.
Well, the thing is, I think this is an issue with the OneStream because for all the other video conferencing tools, it works without a problem. So I'll have to investigate. But what's going on there. Of course, you know, since it's in here, he also has Basecamp and some of the other things pre-installed. But what's interesting is that web apps are first-class citizens.
I don't understand what that means.
So let me give you a sample. I have actually here, as you can see, this fantasy map generator. The first one is what I just grabbed from the web. You know, install a web app, and it has this screen. If I start the other one, which I added through the utility, where I actually add the link to the web application, and then kind of select then the color. Okay, so sorry, it's the other way around. Let me actually compare those. So it's running. Oh, I have to fix that then. But
it's running in a Chrome container.
Yeah, so it's Chrome. So for example, here I open Basecamp, even I use it, but you don't see any of the address bar. But it's a web application, so it runs like web application. Let's see, did I put Literal Universe already here? No, not yet. So and if I go if I go here to install, there's a web app. So let's do this. Literal Universe. Let's add that. Let's see okay, I've added it without an icon, so it should hopefully be fine. And no, that it didn't like that. So, but let's see if I can do that right here. So I'll go to Literal Universe, and unless I've broken something, the latest deploy. Yes, it allows me here to install it. Oops. And then it's in its own window here. And if you kind of go through the official, so now you can see it. It's in here. I can start it like as I would like any other application. So which is I think pretty cool that it has this, because with the other ones it's not as clean. So that's pretty cool. And of course, since everybody has been also clamoring about, you know, I want Windows this and Windows that, they have out of the box here Windows, so you can install. They have like a Dockerized Windows machine or virtual machine on which you can then install and run all the other Windows stuff that you want as well. Of course, there's limitations, but it's pretty cool. And you know, here, oops, I showed the development, but you know, for editors, you know, it has all those stuff ready to go. So I think it's a very very interesting system. And a lot of people have been kind of giving the feedback that you know, for them it's after years on, or like, you know, decades at this point on Windows or on Mac, they kind of rediscovered their inner child of tweaking and prodding the system and seeing what it will do. Which I still have to really get into, but I did learn some Vim commands and stuff, so I can actually, you know, open up Vim and close it properly so I don't get stuck. So, or NeoVim, and it has, you know, I think here it has like NeoVim and all the stuff pre-installed with all the defaults to kind of so you can immediately get started going. You don't have to spend, you know, days configuring Vim. So, but I don't use it, but it's there. So that's kind of what I wanted to get. You know, it's you know, challenging when it comes, for example, to the keyboard commands and management. But it's, you know, a lot of discovery, a lot of new, and a lot of the stuff is like really amazingly, very nicely done out of the box. So as I said, you know, with all the installations and auto configuration, which really much reminded me of Meteor and you know, all this other magic. So you know, maybe we can extend the Meteor command line tools a bit more with additional stuff, but that's a discussion for another day. So
it looks pretty interesting. I have to say that the Chromebook makes web apps also first-class citizens. So you can
Yeah.
go to a website and you can create like um, a shortcut that you can add to the menuing system, and then just open that up in its own like Chrome containers. So it's really neat. So they've basically taken it and made this part of the experience of this operating system, which is terrific.
Yeah,
So
it's very terrific because you cannot really tell the difference between what is a web application, what's a native application, and it's very, very interesting. And here, even like it's very also accessible when it comes to documentation. So here are all the necessary things I need to do for LazyVim, which is what the Vim that's being used here, and all the keyboard shortcuts. And so that's again, here under learn, and all the stuff is here as well. So
you basically added this project to the list of other projects that you've got now that you're gonna.
Well, I have not been devopping anything for it.
Are you turning into Lori?
Just yet? No. Right now, my only ambition with this is, as I said here, in the development section under JavaScript, to have Meteor here.
Okay, cool.
That is the only thing, and I've installed it again. And that's again compared to Windows. Installing Meteor is I just grab the install command, or with npm, put that into my terminal, and then I have Meteor, and I'm happy.
That's terrific. All right, like keep us informed about how this goes. So, Nacho, are you tempted in any way to transition from Windows over to Omarchi?
Oh, yeah, it's excited, but I mean, with operating system, we could have our own episode because I have been transiting many times in the past. I started from Unix to Mac, then to I'm not sure. I think when I went to Mac, I didn't look anything else until I had to renew my Mac. Then I double thought about it. And then I started to use first Linux a little bit again, and then Windows. But I agree also with you that like for Windows to take into the position of being developer friendly, sometimes you need to do a lot of tweaking, a lot of things here and there. With Mac, that is straightforward. Yes. So my only complaint about Mac is that if you get into this circuit, then you will spend a lot more of money, but it has a lot of good things, I have to say as well. I have a Mac as well, a Mac Mini, because otherwise you cannot develop in iOS and other things. So about operating system, I think I'm going to stick in Windows, but having a look into the others for specific things.
I think it's really good that as part of the development team that at least some people work with Windows, because it still is the most popular operating system out there. And, we've seen that the complaints from some people is that it doesn't get the love from Meteor, right? So, if it's very popular and it's the most, it's the most deployed operating system, and MeteorJS does not work well on it, that's not really good for building a developer community when you have so many developers that are running on Windows. So I think just from a practical point of view, you have to have some development on Windows. It's just you can't walk away from it. But I will say the thing I love about Mac, I hate the price point. But here's the thing, like the price point can last. I have a Mac Mini that is now 12 years old that is still running. Now it doesn't update the operating system anymore or whatever, but for my basic Unix tools, it's fine. I don't need them to change. So if I want to use it as a build server, it's okay. It's not that much of an issue. So, but and the other thing too is they do last. And we were talking, Storyteller and I, about uptime. So I started on DOS, right? And I built my first apps on DOS and Windows. And then I moved to Unix. But my first professional Unix environment was Solaris, and I told the story that I had a Solaris machine that I never rebooted for like more than 4 years. It was just solid, right? It was Berkeley OS as the core. The Sun OS is basically like Berkeley OS underneath, if I remember correctly. And it was great. And then when Mac moved from System 9 to System 10, and they had Unix in the box, it's like once I started, the thing is like with Windows, I had so many times that I had a corrupt registry. I had to reboot it, get the blue screen of death. It was just not a great experience for building applications because I spent so much time just on the freaking box and getting it running properly. And then worrying about things like registry conflicts, key conflicts, right? And or DLLs that didn't load or whatever, all of these like nonsense things that would show up. But when I went to Unix, it was much better. Going back to Unix from Windows and going to the Mac, and the Mac was a great platform because, you don't have all the applications that are available on Windows, but you get the basic things that you need to get your work done, and it's beautiful and it works, and the uptime. I have 2 machines here that have been up for 2 years.
Yeah,
never rebooted.
They consume less energy than I have also a server.
Oh my
The
gosh!
Mac Mini is a
there's
server.
Yeah, that's what I love about the Mac Mini.
Yeah,
The consumption, the energy consumption is so
consumption
low.
is low and doesn't heat up like
Right.
an Intel one. Like my machine in summer here is horrible to be with. The Mac Mini is not. So
Yes.
it has really cool things.
There are tremendous benefits, but you pay for that. You pay a lot for it. So, you might pay a lot upfront for it, but as I said before, I have a machine that's 12 years old now that's been running. It's paid for itself many times over at this point, in terms of the amortization. If I were to look at what I paid for it, I think it was like $800 or $900 at the time that I paid because I maxed out the memory. Over 12 years, that's less than $100 a year. It's not so bad. So, but that upfront cost is a high cost. My laptop that I'm running right now, it's the last of the Intel MacBook Pro, i9, 64 gig of RAM, with the high end. This is 2019, and I spent, I think it was over $4,000 on it, right? So it's and to be honest with you, had I actually just bought the M1, which it was not proven how this was going to work, but I could have bought 3 M1s for the money that I spent, on this thing. So, but it's now 6 years old, and it's great. It's still going. So, so I think there are trade-offs everywhere, but I love this idea of like looking at a Marchi. I might try to take one of my older Macs and either do a dual boot with a Marchi and see what that looks like, just to play with it. I don't know.
Yeah. Or this is actually what preceded it. This is OmaCube, which similar to Meteor. You just pop this into terminal, install, and it kind of gives you what he is showing here. So that if you don't want to, if you kind of want to test that it's in the direction that might interest you, and don't kind of want to make the full switch to Arch Linux with Omarchi, then you can try OmaCube on Ubuntu.
So, here's my view of what makes a great developer experience. When I come and I sit down and I want to build something, I don't want to think about my environment. I don't want to think about all the tooling. The thing to me that has made tools like MeteorJS really great is it's already taken care of, like, where am I going to store my information? How am I going to transfer, information from my applications to the database? Like, all of those things are thought out. I love the fact that I only have to think in, I don't have to do a lot of mental context switching, right? In terms of the language. Those are things I think that really allow me to be effective and efficient. When I have to think about how I'm going to, put a build script together and, what my scaffolding is going to be like. And by the way, my operating system's not rebooting right now because it's not stable because there's a conflict with something that I wrote and the operating system, like the not having that kind of isolation is really a problem. So if you're saying like Omarchi like helps kind of like alleviate a lot of those things in the way that I think that the Mac environment does, and something like or using containers, right? Containers also really help with that in terms of like
I
isolation.
was extremely astonished because
Yeah.
before, every time I tried to use Docker and all that stuff, it was painful. It never really worked. And before I got it working, I just gave up and switched to the built-in whatever Meteor has.
Yeah.
With Omarchi, I've selected MongoDB for databases, installed it, and it was there. It was working. I could connect to it. Just had to look for a little bit for some additional details for myself, but it was there working out of the box, and it was great. The big thing is you have to, it kind of pushes you to learn, of course, the shortcuts, because mouse is not, as I said, it's not all super there are still some rough edges. I have some issues with WebStorm or with application that require too much mouse input, or can I rely on that? Issues with gaming, which at the same time I don't mind, because it keeps me off the games, which is in the long run good. But I have, if necessary, I have VirtualBox, which is not for games, but if I need anything for Windows specifically. But there's like other little things. For example, now that I'm sharing a window, it's not visible here, but I have like in the middle here, I have the stop sharing thing, because it just will not position itself. So these kind of like pop-ups, those are still a bit of a hassle, and I still kind of need to get more into it, but I don't need to, because everything else is working up the box. So it's just like only small annoyances that are too small for me to really start caring.
All right, so let's wrap up on this, because I think we're going over on this item. Listen, guys, if you're interested and you've heard of Omarchi and you've been wondering what it's about, and you wonder whether or not this is something that you should give a try, give it a try. I think what was it? OmaCube is a lightweight way of giving it a try without having to install anything. And then if you want to, you can pop in and do something different. So are we wrapping up? I think we're wrapping up now, right? Is there anything else that you want to bring up?
Yeah, I think the main thing for me was, and as I said for Funny Other, is it's an amazing experience, and similar like to Meteor. And I'm hoping that maybe even if you try this, you will kind of be reminded of the initial experience you had with Meteor.
Sure.
And if you haven't tried, if you haven't been to Meteor for a while, then maybe it will kind of push
so
you
when
to
I was
try
saying
again.
wrap up, I thought we were getting to this other thing that you have, reduce your dependencies.
No, let's keep that for another time.
Okay, all right. So listen, guys, thank you so much. Nacho, you have any final words you want to add, or should we just say have a great weekend to everyone?
Have a great Halloween weekend, right? This is
that is
no, but I mean,
a good way to close the day. All right, guys, we'll see you next week. I believe we're playing an episode next week, so 102, 103. And in the meantime, don't rot your teeth out with candy. Don't frighten small children. Well, maybe you should frighten small children. Maybe that's the whole point with Halloween, right? And enjoy yourselves. And we'll see you again next week. Take care now. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, and let's see. I got to get a shortcut to ending this